early on you decided with your consulting and you got your first gig that you didn't charge for time, but for a product. Now, I think that's really important to make to there's a lot of consultants out there, and they are always trading time for money. Whereas you early on, almost from the get-go, said, I'm going to create a product that I sell. And I believe you went from not quoting a time hourly rate, but a product that a 5-day diagnostic interview the sales team. So tell us a little bit more about that and how that's maybe fed into Pavilion and how you have scaled what you do.
Well, I mean, to your point, right? Like I'm always, being a consultant was fun. It's fun to go in to other people's companies and not really have any your butt on the line, whether your ideas work or not, right? And I just remember consulting for some really terrible companies and thinking, man, I am so glad I am not a full-time employee here. And oh, it's 4:59 p.m. I will see you tomorrow. Oh, that thought, like good luck with this disaster that is your company. But relatedly, I felt like there's I was always focused on scalability. I was always focused on, and my problem with consulting was like it's how do you scale it? How do you reach beyond yourself? Because if you're always just trading your hourly rate, it becomes difficult. Now, fundamentally, if you're a one-person show, it is still time for money. That is still the gent. But how do you present it differently in such a way that you can, because the only way to scale a one-man or one-woman, one-person consulting business is to charge more for less time. And so my rule, first and foremost, which is, if you have any consultants out there, I refused, because I met with a bunch of consultants. I was doing some research and my friends were consulting. I charge $125 an hour. I charge $250 an hour. And I'm like, I'm just not doing that. I'm not gonna, I felt like it cheapened me in a way that, and it didn't create any kind of replicability. So to your point, the next step after documenting everything I know is I created that diagnostic tool. And so then I started selling the tool, and I said, hey, this scorecard, this process takes 5 days and $1,000. And and obviously there's an implied day rate there, which is I guess like $2,200 or something like that. But or maybe it's $2,400. But the point is, it's more. I probably wouldn't have gotten $2,400 a day if I said that's my day rate. And then what I did was I took that same tool and I just said, well, now it takes 3 days and it's $15,000. And all of a sudden I'd raised my day rate to $5,000 a day. And but I was still selling a product, right? People didn't think about it like that. They thought about, so how do you create it? So I was focused on, okay, I want to create templatized, repeatable deliverables that I can give to people over time, and that they can, and that have the appearance of authority and credibility and objectivity. And that's why I spent all this time building this diagnostic tool, because otherwise it's just like, well, let me take a look at your company and I'll tell you what I think. But this is no. I've created the scientific process. I've been in the laboratory for 10 years and this is the result. This is my beautiful thing that I've created from that laboratory. And, for me, I mean, how do those ideas relate to Pavilion? I'm always just interested in what can we repeat? How do we take experiences that are ad hoc, that are one-off, that are ephemeral, and can we create something that builds upon itself? And that's, more than even consulting or productization, the main thing I'm such a passionate advocate of is recurring revenue. I am
subscription models.
Yeah, it's just the best. It's also the most humane way to build a company. And I say that because what a subscription definitionally implies that you're providing ongoing value to your customer. And if you stop providing that value, they stop paying your subscription. And that completely aligns your incentives with your customers. Your goal is, how do I build stuff that keeps them sticking around? And they're the final arbiters and everyday judges of whether you're doing that successfully. And it's just a way. And of course, there's a bunch of benefits from like running a bit from an operational perspective. But fundamentally, I find that it aligns the company and the customer more effectively than any other kind of payment model.